We're recording.
Okay, thanks, Linda. Have we had anybody join us yet?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. So Blake, should I cover the mission and the WebEx and introductions, and then I'll hand it over to you for.
That works for me. I'm happy to do it too if you want, but yeah.
Or I'll hand it over to you when we get to the agenda slide. How about that?
Sure. That sounds good. It might just be us.
Might.
Yeah, this might be a very quick meeting.
Yeah.
I think what we'll need to do is like somebody will need to stick around.
Yeah, leave it open for like the old 10-minute rule. Stick around. Professor doesn't show up after 10 minutes, class can leave.
So if the students don't show up, the professor can leave after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe it works that way too. So I don't know if some of the rest of you heard, Blake did hear from the sponsors of the bill or the organization, and it sounds like they were not able to make it today, but did share their comments or views with him.
Yep. Yeah, they confirmed that everything looks good to them. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
We still have had no one join, so no one's joined. Yeah,
Okay.
as of yet.
So far internally, I think we've heard from Janine that she's okay with the draft rules, and we've heard from the sponsor. So I will be able to go ahead and put together the Secretary of State filing paperwork. We probably should be able to file it by the end of September. I think it's pretty straightforward, but at the very latest, we would file in October and have a hearing in November. That would be our latest date, but I think we'll be able to do it earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Welcome, Brian.
Oh,
Brian from ASAP, is that right? Yeah.
I think so. Hi there, Brian.
good morning.
We have a very, very small group, aka might just be you. So I don't know if you want to engage with us and we can
Right.
make a plan for getting through this, how you want to do this, but
Yeah, we're happy to give the presentation to just one stakeholder, but kind of up to
We
we'd
too.
also defer to that stakeholder.
we just got another person too.
Oh, great.
Great.
Good.
So good morning to the folks who've joined us. We'll wait maybe one more minute till 10:05 and then we'll get started. And we can be pretty informal, as we were just saying today, and we'll go through our slides that we've prepared, but we can just have more of a back and forth if you have questions or comments as we're presenting. We're very happy to go forward that way. Oh, and also just a reminder, you should be seeing hopefully a button on your screen so that you can unmute yourself. And you can do that and bring up questions at any time. And I think you also have an ability to fill in it or to send us a chat. Is that correct, Linda?
Yeah. If you go down to the little smiley face at the bottom, if you click on that, you should be able to raise your hand and we can call on you, or you can do any kind of response there. You can also head over to a chat, which is in more options, I believe.
So yeah, please, since we've got such a small group, don't hesitate to speak up either by writing us a comment or a chat or raising your hand, or you can also probably just bring your questions up while certainly Blake will be presenting the draft rules or walking through the draft rules later. So why don't we get started? My name is Wendy Simons. I'm the rulemaking coordinator for our planning and innovation group at Oregon Department of Energy. And today is the time we've set aside for a rulemaking stakeholder advisory meeting to implement our HB 4057, an efficiency standard for spray sprinkler bodies. And today is September 7th, 2022. So I have a few introductory remarks, and then I will hand it over to my colleague, Blake Schlide. And I'm trying to advance the slides. Great. So just as a quick reminder, Oregon Department of Energy, our mission is helping Oregonians make informed decisions and maintain a resilient and affordable energy system. And certainly energy efficiency standards and efficiency standards generally are part of fulfilling that mission. This view of the screen is, I've been told, a little bit different than what you are seeing, but you should have a mute and unmute button. You should also have this reaction capability that will allow you to raise your hand, and the chat function. I don't think we have anybody on the phone, Linda.
No, we don't.
No, okay. If we do have somebody join by phone, or if you ever, any of you need to join by phone, if you're on the road or something, you can unmute yourself and raise your hand with *3 and *6. So, but we'll always try to let people know about that. So before we jump in, here's the agenda for today. We'll start with some introductions. We'll start with our Odo colleagues, and then we'd love to have the people who are on the phone just introduce themselves and your organization. So again, I'm Wendy Simons, a rulemaking coordinator, working with my colleagues on implementing or filing, drafting, implementing these rules. So Blake, would you like to go next?
Yeah, thanks, Wendy. I'm Blake Schlide. I'm a facilities engineer at the Oregon Department of Energy. And I guess next, maybe Christy.
Hi, I'm Christy Split. I'm the Government Relations Coordinator for the Oregon Department of Energy. Thanks for being here today. I'll pass the baton to Andy.
Hi, I'm Andy Cameron. I'm the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Manager here at the Oregon Department of Energy. Will, would you like to go next?
Sure. Thanks, Andy. I'm Will Mulhern. I'm an energy analyst on the Energy Efficiency and Conservation team at Odo. And I will
pass it to Linda.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to Linda.
Great. Thanks, Will. Linda, did you want to introduce yourself or want me to introduce you?
No. Lynn Ross, I'm division assistant, and I work with the logistics on WebEx. Whoa.
Yeah, Linda's our host today, so she'll be helping us make sure we help everybody participate in the meeting as they're interested too. So thanks, Linda. So very basic agenda for today. We'll first share some background, or Blake will share some background on the bill and the purpose of the rulemaking. He will walk us through the draft rules. I'll talk a little bit about the rulemaking schedule, and then we had planned to open it up at the end for general discussion and comments, but seeing that we have such a small group, please feel free, as Blake is walking through the draft rules, to bring up comments then or questions if they're relevant to a particular part of the rules. We can be a little bit less formal with a small group. So I will next hand it over to Blake.
Thanks, Wendy. So to start, I'll just give a quick overview of the bill itself that passed during our last legislative session. It was House Bill 4057. It was adopted by the legislature during the 2022 session, and it established an efficiency standard for what's known as spray sprinkler bodies, also kind of just commonly known as irrigation sprinklers for residential and small commercial applications. And it included this product in the suite of efficiency standards that Oregon has. Oregon has a host of energy and efficiency standards that we've had established for some time, and established a handful of new standards over the past couple of years too. And what this bill did was add spray sprinkler bodies to that suite of standards that is administered by our agency. So it provided ODO with the authority to administer the standard. And in establishing a standard, it referenced the US EPA WaterSense standard and test procedure directly in the statute. And this standard matches that of a host of other states, including Washington, California, Hawaii, Colorado, Vermont, and I think about 10 or 11 other states or jurisdictions around the country. So the idea was to harmonize the standard and have consistency where there is a standard for this product. And now we're in the process, after the bill's passed, of conducting the rulemaking to implement the standard. It's set to go into effect for equipment manufactured after January 1st of 2023. And the rulemaking that we're engaging in now is to align our Oregon administrative rule with the new language in the Oregon revised statute that came from the bill, and to implement the agency administrative tasks that's associated with any standard that's passed. Next slide, please. So now I'll share my screen and I'll just walk through the relatively simple changes that we have to our rules to implement the standard.
So I think I will stop sharing, so then Blake can share his screen.
Yep. Okay, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
I am seeing it.
Okay, great. So these draft rules are posted online for review also, and we'll just walk through each one of the changes. And there's a note in the sideline of the document that provides a little bit more description about if there is a change to a specific section. It'll provide a little more description about what that change is and why. And then also if there's not a change to a section, it'll note that too. So I'll scan down.
Blake, are you able to zoom in a little bit?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, Misty asked if you could zoom in.
Is that looking?
Is that better? Thanks. Yeah.
Great. To the definition section, we've added two definitions, one for pressure regulator and one for spray sprinkler body. And these were two definitions that were added to the statute itself by House Bill 4057, and we've simply duplicated them in our rules. And the references match those that also come from the referenced EPA WaterSense standard. In our rules in section 330-092-0015, we list the effective dates for all the regulated equipment. And what we've done in the draft rules is to note that the effective date for the spray sprinkler body standard is for January 1st of 2023 to match with the effective date that's in the rule or that's in the bill itself. And as I mentioned before, it's all based on equipment that's manufactured on or after that date. So equipment that's manufactured before that date could continue to still be sold. And I'll note too that there was up above in this section, there was just some simple renumbering that we addressed in some of the other standards, but nothing substantive. And in the next rule section, 330-092-002-0020, we've included the new standard for spray sprinkler bodies down below at the end of the section as a new standard.
Yeah, and maybe I may jump in here. Just if you're looking at the rule language, you may see a few very minor changes. We are changing or proposing to change some capitalization and some, again, non-substantive changes just to match the way that the language appears in the statute. Just when it's referring to these Energy Star standards, for instance, they are a kind of formal adopted EPA standard. So we're just capitalizing and adding punctuation just to make it clear that that's what's happening, but it's not changing any substance of which standard or anything like that.
Yeah, thanks, Wendy. Thanks for that clarification. And you'll see some of the other edits and revisions in red that Wendy was referring to. That it's nothing substantive, just some clarification revisions. And then down below, the most substantive section and change to this section is the addition of the spray sprinkler body standard and the reference directly to the US EPA's WaterSense specification for spray sprinkler bodies. And again, this is identical and matches exactly the language that's in House Bill 4057. In the next section, section 330-092-0025, this is the section where our agency has the administrative task of creating a requirement, if it's applicable, for a product listing. So for a standard, a product that meets a standard to be listed in a database and certified that it meets the standard, so it can be referenced that it actually meets the applicable standard. And one change that we've made here to the title is actually a change that was intended to be made in a previous rulemaking, but it was to remove a reference to an outdated multi-state compliance system that's no longer in use. So we've simply retitled this section to product listing because this multi-state compliance system is an outdated reference to a previous listing system that's no longer used. So we've simply updated that title of the section of rule, and then we've added a new listing requirement for spray sprinkler bodies for each manufacturer to cause to be listed each spray sprinkler body by model number in the WaterSense product database. And ODO has authority to establish this certification listing requirements under statute under ORS 469.255, section 3. So this is the listing requirement that we propose to add for the new product spray sprinkler bodies. Next section has no changes. And then the following section also has no changes. And then moving on to labeling, section 330-092-0045, we've added a labeling requirement for spray sprinkler bodies, and they're renumbered some of the labeling as part of the list due to the insertion of a new provision. So along with listing, our agency has the authority to create a labeling requirement for any new product standard that's established. So that's what we've done here. We've simply added a labeling requirement for spray sprinkler bodies that every unit of every spray sprinkler body package must have the WaterSense label to make it apparent and clear to a consumer that it meets the standard and that it's sufficient. And then we've renumbered some of the subsequent sections just because we've inserted a new number there. And then moving down our rules, no changes to the following sections there. And that brings us to the end of all the proposed changes as part of our draft rules.
Thanks, Blake. So I will go back to sharing my screen. See if that works out. There we go. Are you seeing the
I do.
slide? Okay, so okay. So this is just some basic information to help you know where to get the documents that you will need. The House bill is available on OLIS, and here's a link for it. And our rulemaking webpage has a link to our draft rules and also to the hearing notice. And as we prepare the formal hearing notice, or sorry, the hearing notice that we will prepare and submit to the Secretary of State will be posted on here. Sorry to not be clear, but our agenda for the meeting today, and we can post these slides as well. As far as the rulemaking process, ODA plans to submit the draft rules and the hearing notice paperwork to the Oregon Secretary of State this fall. So just in the next few weeks, if we have our hearing notice accepted by the end of this month, then we will hold a hearing as early as October, but it will be either in October or November this fall. And we will file the rules by the end of this year. And as Blake mentioned, they will become effective January 1st, 2023 for products that are manufactured on or after that date. So as
Yeah,
part of,
thanks, Wendy. And I'll just note here too that some folks may notice a reference to electric storage water heaters on this title of the slide, and just
oh,
note
I'm
that
sorry,
is
I
apparently a
oops,
a holdover from a previous presentation. And this
sorry,
rulemaking does not have anything to do with electric storage water
exactly.
heaters.
Sorry about that. I changed part of it, but missed something. Sorry about that.
I missed it too, Wendy.
Thanks, Blake. We totally missed it. So that is the end of our presentation, but we're happy to answer any questions about the draft rules or the rulemaking process, or also to hear any comments that you have. And again, there is a link to a link where you can sign up to receive notices about this and any future rulemakings if you're not already on our list, and Blake's email address. So please, looks like we have a question from Misty in the chat. Are you able to see it, Blake?
I do see it, yes. The question is there a sell-through period for distributors and retailers? So because the standard is based on a date of manufacture, any products that are in inventory or in a warehouse can continue to be sold as long as they were manufactured before the date of January 1st, 2023. So certainly any products that are on a shelf right now, or even on a shelf on January 1st of 2023 that were made before that date could continue to be sold and pass through. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, Misty, please let us know if you have additional questions. We'll pause here and give people a couple of minutes.
So Misty has a follow-up that asking, is there no time limit to exhaust the sale of existing stock? And that's correct. So if there is existing stock that was manufactured before the effective date of January 1st of 2023, then the standard doesn't apply to those particular products, and they could be sold indefinitely. The standard
Thank
only
you.
applies to products manufactured on or after January 1st of 2023.
Thanks for your question, Misty. So, is there anything else that you think we need to share about the process, Blake? Or I think we can go ahead and wrap things up. But maybe just to reiterate that we are available for you to send questions by email or to call one of us. If you have a question substantively, Blake is probably your best resource. If you have questions about the rulemaking process, I'm happy to help with that. And again, we will have a public comment period as part of the official rulemaking process, as well as a public hearing. So there will be more opportunity if you have additional questions or comments. But at this point, and just to note, we have had one or two other stakeholders reach out to us who were not able to come today. But we have not yet heard, as far as I know, any suggested changes to the draft rules. So we're anticipating that the draft rules that we file will be either exactly the same or very slightly changed, if anything, from what you see in the draft rules for this meeting. Okay, well, not hearing any additional comments, we will thank people for participating today. And I know that we've heard from some of you in past rulemakings, and so we definitely appreciate your advice and comments and participation now and in the past. And thanks, and have a good day.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, thanks, Blake.
Nice work.